I mean, at the time when Chelsea contacted me last year or this year in February, they only spoke about the option to become interim manager for 4 months. So it was in February, without any perspective to work in the long term together. And here now we are talking about 6.5 months. So we only have 1/3 of all the games played in the Premiership. And as you all know, we have also agreed upon a 2-year advisory role after those 6.5 months. And and in the end, to be honest, if a club like Manchester United contacts you for such a role, you cannot possibly turn it down.
I mean, do you look at last night, for instance, and think there are things that I can change straight away? How are you going to do this? Because the team have done well the last 3 games, but before that, it's not been so good at all.
I mean, obviously, I've watched the latest games. I watched not only last night's game, but also the games against Watford and against Chelsea. And on TV, when I didn't know that there would be contact in the next days, I also watched out of interest the games against Liverpool and against Manchester City. So I'm pretty well aware and acquainted with what's happening here in the club and in the Premiership. I think it's pretty obvious that the team have abundant talent, young talented players, but also enough experienced players in the squad. But I mean, the major target for me in the next couple of weeks is just to bring more balance into the team. Even yesterday we conceded 2 goals. We needed 3 goals in the end to win the game. And if you look at the total goals, number of goals conceded, it's almost two on average per game, and this is just too much. So this is my approach to help the team to get more balance, to get more control on the game. And yesterday's game, I mean, it was exciting for the fans, but even for myself as the future coach, those are not the kind of games that you need every day, because in football, for me, it's to minimize the coincidence factor and to have control and gain control on the game. And this is in football what it's about. And this is my approach. I will try to help these outstanding, talented players to try and get and keep the way away from their own goal.
Jamie Jackson?
Hi, Ralf. Hi. I'm Jamie Jackson again. Nice to meet you. Just to ask you, how easy is this going to be for you to turn around Manchester United to have consistent, good performance? And I'm guessing the aim is top 4 minimum, I guess, for you.
I mean, the aim in the first instance is to win the next game, but the next game is on Sunday, so I have maybe 1 training session. Of course, I also have the training session today, but I can only introduce myself to the players this afternoon. The training will start at 3 o'clock. The players who have played last night, they cannot train today, so literally it's 1 training session. So there are not that many things that you can change on the training pitch, but it's, of course, about getting to know the players, speaking to them, letting them know what the approach will be. It will not be easy in the middle of the season. I'm fully aware, and I have enough experience to know that you cannot change everything within 1-2 days, or not even in 1-2 weeks. Other German coaches who have come to the Premiership have made the same experience. But it's about winning games, and in the end, I'm very ambitious, like the whole club, like everybody in the club, like all the players. And we want, in the end, to make the most successful season out of it that is possible. Right now, we have to be realistic. The distance between us and the top 3 is big. But on the other hand, we will see. It's about developing the performance and as I said, help the team to get a feeling of how can we control the game.
You did really well with Hoffenheim, among other clubs. Is this the toughest challenge of your sort of very long career?
I mean, it's obviously the biggest club, but it's one of the biggest clubs, if not the biggest club in the world. So, of course, it's a massive challenge, and I'm more than excited to work with those kind of players that we have here. Yes, it's a big challenge, but as I said, I have also worked with other top star players at Schalke. It was a similar situation, as I said, I'm more than happy to work with this group of players.
David?
Hi, Ralf. If you are successful in the next 6 months, there will inevitably be a clamour for you to continue as manager. Is that a possibility, or is it set in stone that you will stop after 6 months and then go into consultancy role?
I mean, the people with whom I have spoken so far, they have been very clear about that we are talking about a 6.5 months role as a manager currently. We have never spoken about what will happen in the summer. Right now, I'm fully aware that they might be looking for a new manager. If they will then speak with me about that, we will see. Maybe if they ask me my opinion, and as you said, everything goes well, we develop the team, I might even make the same recommendation to the board that I did at Leipzig twice, when I recommended to them that it might be a good idea to keep working with me for 1 year. But this is all hypothetical. We cannot speak about that. For me now, it's about winning the next games, and this is the major focus.
Ian?
Ralf, when you look back at the 8.5 years since this club won a Premier League title, I know that wherever you've been around Europe, you will have been observing a club like this. What have you seen over those 8.5 years between winning that last title and where the club and the squad is now?
I mean, having had Sir Alec for 27 years, was he here, winning numerous titles, I don't think there was any other club. Maybe it was Giroud with Auxerre, but having had the same manager for 27 years is unique, is exceptional. And for me, it's not that unusual that after such a long, successful spell, that the club needs to find the new pathway. I mean, there had been changes in management, I don't know, 5 or 6 managers since Sir Alec left. And therefore, it was also difficult for the club to have to gain continuity with regard to signing new players, developing, sticking to the DNA of the club. And I think this is vital in modern football, that you do that. And for me, it's not that unusual that there were so many changes. And I think for the future, and I think we have the same opinion, the board members and myself, it's important that this will be developed in the future, that there will be not that many changes in management.